we are out. Yeah, handling's good. The 4-liter V6 is actually pretty torquey. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over a 2022 Toyota 4Runner with the TRD Off-Road Premium Package and a few modifications as well. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Brent Brown Toyota here in Orem for giving me some time with this 4Runner. Check out the inventory in the description down below. And then on a side note, I just released my car buying course, so if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to that in the description down below as well. Let's get into the video. So under the hood we have a naturally aspirated 4-liter V6 that goes through a 5-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 16 around town and then 19 on the highway, with power outputs being 270 horsepower and then 278 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the 4Runner. So you guys can see you've got the little hood scoop right here, which definitely makes it look a little bit more aggressive. Projector bulbs down below, and then you guys can see the fog light, and also you've got the accenting just up above that, and then blacked out badges. That's one of the little modifications on this to make it look a little bit sportier. Chrome trim on either side, and then notice this has the high ground clearance front bumper since it's the TRD Off-Road, and then you guys can actually see the setup underneath here, which looks pretty cool as well. And yeah, that is the front end. Coming to the side here, we've got two 65mm tires wrapped around 17-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And you guys can see we've got the TRD wheels, which I think look absolutely fantastic, all blacked out with the red TRD logo. And then here's a quick look at the front suspension. You guys can see we've got the body painted fender flare all around. This one's finished in Lunar Rock, which I think looks absolutely fantastic. You can see the full side view here. Really cool aesthetic. Blacked out TRD Off-Road badge. And then you guys can see the setup here in the rear with everything. You also got the splash guard there, front and rear, and side to the back. So here's our key fob. It has the unlock, the lock, and then notice the Toyota logo there on the back. Pretty simple setup. Now as for the rear hatch, it is hydraulic, so you do have to just open it up yourself. We've got a bunch of goodies back here. So you guys can see we've got the floor mats and all that fun stuff. Storage space back here on the 4Runner is great because it is a larger sized SUV. And you guys can see here underneath with the flooring and all that fun stuff. And I like how you have a bunch of different cubbies back here too. I think that's another big positive with the 4Runner. And yeah, that's all for the rear. So you've got a little strap, but the biggest thing is just this handle right here, and just throw it down and boom. Now let's finish things up here in the rear. Again, blacked out badges here on the back. And then you guys can see here with the tail lights. And then popping down below, got the receiver hitch and then the exhaust tip that pops out. And the 4-liter actually sounds pretty good. And other than that, we do have the rails there at the top, and there you go. Now here is the door panel in the rear. You've got the stitching that goes across and padding all over, and then down below with more of that red stitching. Got the metallic trim right here. Window is automatic. And then we've got the cloth seats here, so you guys can see with the center portion, and popping in, it's pretty spacious back here. Then you guys can see here with the vents, and then we've got the USBs down below that, and we have our armrest cup holder thingy. Let's head to the front. Now here's the door panel at the front. You guys can see again with the red stitching, and then just down below we've got all of our window controls here. Here's a quick look at the mirror. You can see the door handle down below, and then notice the red stitching continues across. And then front seat again, same thing. It's covered in plastic, but it's got the cloth, same as the rear. Same design in the center. Bolstering's a little bit more aggressive. We've got our power adjustments on the side of the seat. Pedal layout down below with the hood latch release. We got this for the outlet, the mirror adjustment, and there's our look before we pop in. Now here is our steering wheel. You've got leather here at the top and at the bottom, and then you can see with the metallic gray trim. And then again, perforated leather here on the side. We've got our controls for like the cruise control. We've got controls for the center stack, volume controls, voice command controls, phone controls as well. Turn signal light stock, windshield wiper stock, and there's the steering wheel. Now here is the center gauge cluster. You guys can see RPMs on the left side, speed on the right side, and then you got that little center screen, which again you can scroll through different menus, see different bits of info on the vehicle itself, nothing too crazy with that. I love how you can see the steering angle, which is important for off-road. And then you guys can see tire pressure. You'd have to drive around a bit for that to pop up, but yeah, there you go. So here is the infotainment system. First off, if we pop it into reverse, you got a backup camera with trajectory lines, and the resolution on the camera is actually pretty good. Now going from that to the rest of the infotainment system, first off, response time with the buttons is great. And then as for the infotainment system, it's also solid. It's not Toyota's newest infotainment system, but I think it's solid, gets the job done. Also, there's a clock just up above. Analog controls here for the radio and for the climate system just down below. And then you guys can see here, we've got the little charging area. Got a random cup holder right here. Driveline select, so we have our 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, neutral, and then 4-wheel low. And if you want like an old school shifter, it's got it. And then we have our TRD shifter here for the 5-speed automatic. Got the manual shift function right there. We do have the power window for the rear. Goes down for the whole window. Definitely a cool feature, one of my favorite things about Toyotas. And then we do have carbon fiber trim here in the center as well. And then you can see here with the center console area, and then more nice stitching here on the top, and then solid storage space with the glove box. And then popping here to the top, this is where stuff gets fun. So you guys can see here, you've got the off-road tech here. So this is like your drive mode. This is kind of like your crawl control select. And then we have our locker, and then all of our traction control systems right there. For this, for example, we can press it on and it'll actually pop here, and you can go through different drive modes. You got rock, so you got mud, sand, dirt, loose rock, mogul. And so yeah, it's pretty cool that you can do that. But yeah, that's everything for up top. So I think I might have accidentally said TRD Off-Road Premium. Sorry about that. So yeah, anyways, feel free to read this with the standard equipment. Now, the thing that this has that is really, really cool, in my personal opinion, right here for $17.50, Kinetic Dynamic Suspension System. So yes, really excited about that. I've never driven a 4Runner with that system before, so I'm kind of interested to see how it drives. Total MSRP, $45,663. Let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. There's your visibility of the hood, both the mirrors, throughout the rest of the rear. Let's set off. So, setting off in this 4Runner TRD Off-Road, not premium, oops again, but it'll be interesting to see how this drives with this Kinetic Suspension System. Again, never driven a 4Runner with this, so it'll definitely be an interesting test drive to say the least. First off, setting off, just like other 4Runners, super smooth from a ride quality perspective. And that's one of the big benefits of Toyota's larger SUVs, is they're just smooth and comfortable. You've got that like big substantial feel. And when you go over bumps, it doesn't, like, you don't really feel it. It's just like boom, and just takes it. I have heard quite a few automotive journalists talking about like how Toyotas bounce around too much, or like they're too floaty. And it's like, okay, that's the whole point, right? Is when you go over a bump, you don't want it to like just punch in the suspension, right? It seems like all these journalists want like super stiff vehicles, and it's like, no. When you go over the bump, it's like kind of floaty, so then like it doesn't hurt, right? Some people. So yeah, I think it's great. And I don't really notice a difference with this Kinetic Suspension System. Just driving around, this feels like a 4Runner. Still has the same floaty feel. Steering still is relatively vague, not horribly vague, but relatively vague. Braking solid. And we've got a trick here. We're just gonna go all the way around the roundabout. Sorry, I gotta make my Canadian / Minnesota joke of the day. So we're just gonna go all the way around. We're gonna confuse this person and this person, and we are out. Yeah, handling's good. The 4-liter V6 is actually pretty torquey. When you go full throttle, you can feel the power deficit with it. There is that perceivable difference with the 4Runner, but when you're just going around, it feels super torquey. It's great. And then the other thing to mention is it's just such a comfortable vehicle. Like, just everything. Seat comfort's great. So I guess I'll sum things up. I've driven quite a few 4Runners for the 2022 model year, it seems. And here's kind of what I've, basically gotten from reviewing all these 4Runners. Is exterior-wise, I think they still look good. I think that's part of the reason why people still purchase them, is it is an older vehicle, but it doesn't look bad. There's another 4Runner. It still looks good. Interior-wise, again, it is more on the quote-unquote dated side, but everything feels sturdy, and you just know that everything's still going to work in 300,000 miles. You can't say that about a lot of other new cars. And then from a driving perspective, it's very smooth and comfortable. Like, this is a great daily driver. And when you go over bumps and everything, it's not like bone jarring, right? It doesn't hurt like you get in a unibody vehicle. And so there's definitely that key benefit too. And then, it's not a crazy fast vehicle. You guys heard the power figures. It's got a 5-speed automatic, but like, when you're just driving around town, it's not annoying at all. It drives great. Yeah, when you go full throttle, you might be a little bit annoyed because you're like, I wish this had more power. But when you're just driving like a normal, sane human being, it's amazing. That's going to sum things up for our video on this 2022 Toyota 4Runner. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Brent Brown Toyota here in Orem, Utah for giving me some time with the 4Runner. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see you guys.